This is Gary Atanu with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I'm here on location with the Furnished Kitchen, brand new for 2015. They have been Denver's top kitchen remodelers, easily for over 2 decades. You've been involved in this work. Mitch, let's talk a little bit about yourself. Share with me a little bit how it is that you got involved doing this type of work.
I started off as a hobbyist, doing woodwork, building furniture and such, and then someone asked me to do some work for them. So I did some work for them, and then I just kind of snowballed. I started doing kitchen refacing, and then full kitchens, and then bathrooms, and built-ins and the such, and kind of build myself a shop. So it's more self-learned than anything.
Interesting. Obviously, there are many rooms in our home that get quite a bit of use out of them. One of the most has to be the kitchen. I mean, quite honestly, it is the hub of the home. This is a place where family hangs out, and even guests tend to gravitate towards. Why do you think that's an important room?
Well, it's definitely the core of the house. So I spend a lot of time with my clients talking through the function of the kitchen, the design of the kitchen, and of course their budget. So yes, it's a very important part of the house. A lot of entertaining that seems to happen within the core of the kitchen. And so I spend a lot of time going through what their desire and their goals are.
Speaking of goals, this really is a room where the balance of beauty and functionality really have to play a part together. Share with me how you're able to make some of the kitchens functional, yet at the same time looking like a showroom.
Well, what I find most of the time, even in a stock home or a builder grade home or even a custom home, there doesn't seem to be a lot of time spent in designing the kitchen. As an example, you'll see low ceilings where they can have larger cabinets where they won't. They'll have impeded where the dishwasher opens up, you're not able to get good flow, or where the oven opens up, or they're not social in that you have your back where you're cooking until exposed to the rest of the house, where that becomes an important piece as well. So what I do is I go through it with the customer, and I usually talk to the wife. She usually makes most of the decisions, but I try to integrate the husband into it as well. Seems to be that they're more important or concerned about the budget. So I spend a lot of time with both of them, if they both want to participate, and go through design, function, budget, and those sorts of things.
Excellent. Obviously, if you can get the husband and wife agreeing on the style, you're in good shape. Although you pretty much have able to offer many styles out there. Is that what kind of keeps it fresh for you and makes it enjoyable as well?
Yeah, what I enjoy is they're all different. It seems that each kitchen never has the same look or feel to it at all. There are smaller ones which become more challenging, and then the larger ones become challenging because you have a large kitchen and you want to make it somewhat social and somewhat family-oriented. So yes, there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of pieces and parts, and there's a lot of discussion. I usually spend 3-4 hours, maybe sometimes 3 or 4 trips, talking with the client in the detail, and then extracting that information so I can come together with something that fits their needs.
Speaking of plenty of pieces and parts, there are actually many components in the kitchen, many opportunities for you to harmonize each one together. Let's start off at the foundation there. We're talking about a flooring. What are you able to offer for folks when it comes with flooring? What kind of materials do you work with?
Wood, tile, doesn't either one of those materials. I typically don't necessarily start with the floor. I really start with the cabinet and the design, and then the floor kind of dovetails into matching what the design is, and then also with the granite and/or the hard surfaces with what the backsplash is as well. So it's
basically, I mean, I noticed one of the things when you go into a home, one of the amazing upgrades you can have there is the cabinetry. You said you kind of begin with this. What type of materials are people looking at, and basically, are you able to help them mesh those in together?
It really depends on budget. There's a huge span of cost in cabinets. And when most people see a cabinet, they see a box. So what I like to do is dress up the kitchen. So that's one of the reasons we named it the Furnished Kitchen, is putting a personal touch to it. Trim on the bottom, trim on the top, trim on the toe kick, drawers, those sorts of things to kind of personalize it for the customer. But the cabinets range. You have really low cost builder grade cabinets all the way into the ultra high end. I stay pretty much in the middle, in the value end of the market. And there are vast differences. So when I bring a client to a cabinet showroom, I show them the differences in quality and let them make that decision based on their needs.
One of the areas I see a lot of folks pretty popular is that in putting islands in the middle of kitchens anymore. Is that a great way to get some extra space and even maybe put some cabinets underneath as well?
Yeah, islands are somewhat challenging depending on the kitchen. You may choose to do a peninsula, you may choose to do an island, and you got to be very careful because you need good flow around the island so it doesn't become an impedance in the kitchen for the people that are trying to work in it. So the islands need to be laid out in such a way that there's good flow around them, but also keeping in mind that you don't want to congest the kitchen. So an island becomes a very important piece.
Excellent. You had mentioned before backsplashes. I think the backsplash and the countertops really are what ties the whole place in together. I see a lot of different materials folks are using out there for countertops. Share with me what you're well-versed in.
Well, granite is very, very popular, but quartz is becoming popular as well as an alternative. And in addition to that, backsplashes, you were starting to see a lot more glass, and glass reflects the light back into the kitchen. So I'm able to show people some of the kitchens I've done where they can see some of this design, because most people I talk to don't have vision. You have to really build the picture for them and show them what's capable or what's out there.
That makes it kind of fun and challenging, getting what people have in their minds and yet making it come to pass with a vision. Anymore, even appliances are a great place to upgrade. Used to be refrigerators were totally functional. I even seen oven vents now that really make a statement when it comes to the overall look of a room.
Yeah, dressing out the kitchen with appliances, typically most people elect to go with stainless steel. Although there's alternatives out there. In fact, the last kitchen I did, we put on panels so it looked more integrated. And those are just refrigerator panels, dishwasher panels, those sorts of things. So the kitchen looks totally integrated. But there's a wide range of choices out there from functionality as well, because there's not just gas cooktops, but there's convection ovens, there's induction ranges that exist today. There's challenging around microwaves. Do you want it on the counter? Do you want it hidden? What do you use it for? Those sorts of things become something that you need to discuss with the client as well.
Absolutely. I see a lot of different styles when I look through your portfolio. We're talking about different characteristics a lot of these styles have. One of those is being the modern kitchen. Is that something that's kind of making a comeback in people's homes?
Yeah, you see a lot of TV shows and you see a lot of modern. And I think that's what's inspiring some of the customers to put a modern kitchen in place. The reality is, from a person that's actually designing and implementing kitchens as myself, I find modern to be a little more difficult to actually do because the tight lines, you have to make sure that everything lines up and looks contiguous. Otherwise, it disturbs the flow of a modern-looking kitchen. But not a lot of people doing it, but more than I would think in the past.
One of the things I see is folks maybe move into a home, and obviously that's the wife's first place she wants to upgrade there. Maybe an outdated kitchen, a style like that of town and country kitchen. What is that kind of style, and is that one of your favorite types?
I don't know that I have a favorite type. I try not to push on a client what I think. Right. I'm more extracting out what they think. And it seems that if you look through the magazines and you talk to some of the designers, you see a lot of white kitchens, and it seems to be very popular. But in my course of travels, I've done mostly stained grade material and some high-end glossy finishes, but it runs the gamut. I don't think there's one style that's standing up more than others, other than maybe people picking out white kitchens. But I have not run into that specifically.
Excellent. I mean, obviously, if folks are spending money on their kitchens, actually investing money in their kitchens, because if you're taking an outdated kitchen and turn it into a luxury kitchen, I spoke with a realtor the other day, and they said this is a great way to really add value to your entire home. Is that what you find with folks as well?
I tell them that. I don't know that they necessarily believe that, specifically talking to the husband. But the average kitchen remodel across the country is about $55,000. That's a total remodel. A smaller kitchen remodel is about $18,000 to $20,000. So it really depends on the kitchen. I've done quite a bit of refacing where you can upgrade the value of your kitchen and it looks fantastic for a lower cost. So that's an alternative versus gutting the kitchen and starting over. So it really depends again on that budget component. But I think you can go a long way and get a lot of value by dressing it up and buying materials in the right way and just walking through that with the client.
Wonderful. Basically, if someone needs an upgrade out there or they want a complete gut out, obviously it starts with a consultation is really what I pick up from you, finding out what it is they're looking for, what the vision they're looking towards, and also what the budget is. Are those all components that you sit down usually in the home, or how do those take place?
Definitely in their house. So the first thing that I go through with them is I try to extract out what's important to them. What do they like? What do they dislike? What's their wish list? I try to do that with both the husband and wife. And then once they do that, I socialize a bunch of ideas by them. Because from my experience, I'm able to see something finished. So maybe move a wall, move a refrigerator here. You're coming in from the garage. Where do you want to put your packages? How do you want to use your kitchen? Is it more a show place, or is it more function? Do you have big Thanksgiving dinners here where maybe 2 ovens become important to you? So there's a lot of questions and answers, and I usually spend 2 to 3 hours just in discussions. And then I get into, okay, here's some suggestions and some ideas, and then I say, let me come back. You guys digest some of this, and then that gives us the direction where you want to go.
Excellent. Viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, on the website, take a look at the different images they have there of some great projects they put together. This is a company brand new in 2015, but we're talking about an artisan that started out as really as a hobby, and for over 2 decades now has been providing some great work. Folks here in Denver, you can see their contact information right there on the bottom of the screen. It's as simple as just reaching out, and they will set up a consultation with you right there in their home. Let me ask you, one of the goals you had out there was to basically provide quality kitchens without breaking the bank. Right. Is this something that you pride yourself on as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I give them alternatives, and I give them information, and then I allow them to steer their own decisions. So as an example, if you're interested in appliances and that's something you want to change in your kitchen, I have several companies I work with on the Front Range. I send them down there. I have a person that is working with me specifically, and they go through designing a spec of what kind of appliance packages they're interested in. And I do that on granite, on cabinets, on all the components, and this way they can pick the quality of materials they want. And then I itemize in my quote to them each line item so they can make a qualified decision.
So we're talking about a consultation that is free of charge. What about the design aspect of that? Is that something that is included there with the package as well?
Yeah, so what I typically do is I'll do a sketch of the kitchen. I'll bring it down to a cabinet showroom, a couple of them here that I work with on the Front Range. We'll put together a design, and then I'll send them that design, and then we start from there. But it really depends, again, if they want to go and spend the money on a designer.
Excellent. Mitch, let me ask you this. Obviously, folks are pretty excited when they get to see the final result. You as a designer, are you pretty much excited the same way and kind of get excited when you see it all come together?
Yes, that's exactly probably why I'm doing this. I have a passion about it. I think the customers see that, and it's exciting to see the finished product. When it's all ripped up, they're obviously not too happy, but I try to turn a kitchen in 4 to 5 weeks and say, look, I understand it's the core of your house. We're going to get this looking pretty as quick as we can.
Wonderful. Last time, viewers, take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. You're going to see his contact information. You can reach out to him via email, or you can give him a call. Either way, they're basically going to be able to come into your home, take a look at a kitchen. Possibly it's a slight upgrade that you want, or a complete gut out. We're talking about an artisan that has been doing this for over 20 years, now available here in Denver, Colorado. That is the Furnished Kitchen. This is Gary Atanu with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.